Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Negotiations, written by HidnFox. Out of all the species in the galaxy, humans are some of the least aggressive. Humans are polite, calm, and choose compromise over conflict. It has been this way for decades. Humans are not the most populous species, and finding a human on most planets is very difficult. Many believe that their natural drive to compromise is due to the lack of population. The Tinker thought it was a weakness. The human ambassadors would cede planets and systems over fighting. The Tinker was some of the most aggressive species in the galaxy, and by far the most aggressive to sit in the Council. They wanted war with humanity. However, the Council forbids war unless in self-defense. Another cowardly rule by the humans. So the Tinker came up with a solution, a new form of warfare. They called it Fright War. A Tinker agent would go to a human world and cause as much chaos as possible, bombings, murder, the like. The first Tinker agent on a human world was completely unbothered. They managed to pull off a string of robberies, murders, and bombings. Of course, if caught, this agent was not related to the Tinker hierarchy and was just being a predator amongst prey. Things came to a head when the agent took the adolescent spawn of one of the planetary overlords hostage. For hours, the humans begged for the Tinker to let the spawn go. The Tinker refused, threatening the hostage. The Tinker wasn't scared. These prey were at his mercy. He had killed many like the spawn. The humans eventually acquiesced to his demands, a ship, bombs, and money. These prey were dumber than they looked. The Tinker moved the human adolescent out of the building it was in, a gun to its head. The humans couldn't stop him. No one could. This was a new form of warfare. The hierarchy watched from across the galaxy. The foolish humans had broadcast this live. The Tinker agent was halfway to the ship when a shot rang out. One. The bullet passed through the shoulder of the adolescent and into the heart of the Tinker. Both collapsed. A human medic, commonplace everywhere within humans, ran to the adolescent. The hierarchy was taken aback by the human's willingness to shoot through an adolescent. But that wasn't the shocking part. The whole galaxy was watching and expected the medic to stabilize the wounded. The shocking part was what the medic did. They drew a gun and shot the Tinker's head. No human courts, no trial, no cover, only death. So, dear Council, it has come to our attention that the esteemed Tinker hierarchy was not only supportive of the attacks, but the ones who coordinated them all. Gasps or other species equivalent ran through the Council. The human ambassador continued to read the statement given to them. It was only one ambassador this time. Faced with these unwarranted acts of terrorism, confusion spread through the Council. What was this terrorism? Under Act 7391.43 of the Galactic Senate, the United Human Republics use the rights given to them by the Council and declare a defensive war against the Tinker hierarchy. As we speak, and as you can most likely read in the news, human ships are attacking every Tinker world. It was true. Every ambassador was looking at the news. Tinker worlds had already fallen. More were falling. How did the least aggressive species create such a military? Including the Tinker homeworld, we'll accept nothing less than unconditional surrender of the Tinker hierarchy. No compromises will be made. Let it be said that none of the ambassadors could believe it. This was never expected of such a peaceful race. The human ambassador straightens, looking directly at the Tinker ambassador's eyes. We do not negotiate with terrorists. Story number 2, A Matter of Law, written by FieserMoep. Captain, I believe that is your rank within the hierarchy of your Dominion's military caste. The interrogator of the Galactic Council's Court of Justice looked at the uniformed man in front of him. It was a human, by comparison, a seasoned elder of their newly encountered species, a leader which was fitting for his position. The uniform was in bad shape. It had been worn for a long period by now, though being under arrest comes with such stipulations. Still, the male made the best of it as it seemed. There certainly was some sort of pride involved. Foolish. Yes, that is correct. Though an odd way to phrase it. I repeat, Captain Hinrich von U, service number 443612-11, 3rd UN Expeditionary Force, highest ranking officer of the UNNS Yi Sun-Si, and I demand to be informed about the status of my crew. Your demand has been noted several times by now, yet you are in no position to do so. May I remind you of the charges brought up against you? You do not have to remind me of anything. I am quite clear of what you accuse me of. Then you should be more reserved in order to make your case less severe. It is not just you who stands trial, but also your warrior caste at large, and with that, your acting government. Being charged without any proper form of representation, less a defender or even a chance to communicate with my headquarters is a farce. You brought yourself into that position when you opened fire on 3 Nazul cruisers which conducted a sanctioned operation under CC Legal Code 32. Spare me your legal code. They shot down several unarmed civilian transports that tried to escape their bombardments. We hailed them, advised them to cease fire. Don't expect me to stand by and watch thousands of people get slaughtered. There is the law, and we must abide by it, even you, regardless of your prior interactions with the Council. So you are charging me on laws we never ratified, never signed or accepted. You understand, that is the case. When your ships arrived, we surrendered out of goodwill when those civilian transports were long gone to prevent any further escalation. Just tell me that my crew is properly treated. Captain, there is no friendly chat. It is I who asks and you who answers. We should finally establish a dynamic and get rid of these petty attempts at taking control over a friendly discussion, or it may not be so friendly for much longer. The creature smirked, as if it was glad to have placed its not-so-subtle threat. It felt as if it had achieved progress with a rather irritating human, a minor species out in the dark, far away from the core which had been bothersome to some degree until they had given proper cause for charges with their mindless intervention. The dynamic you speak of, may I correct you? Entertain me, Captain, just this once. After that, I'll run out of patience. Thank you. You see, the UN never signed your treaties. We do not care. If you forgive my language. As it stands from our point of view, the matter looks bad. Not only have you seized a UNN vessel, but also its crew. You won't confirm that they are treated properly and hold several high-ranking officers with access to critical information hostage. Among those, me, as UNN captain. I hate to say it, but the higher the rank goes, the more political the problem becomes. And that problem is that all of this looks very much like a hostile action. You see, nobody back home will condemn me for stepping in when you or your client states or whatever butchered innocent people. We have values we stand by, and stand we will. So the question is not if I will cooperate with you to resolve this. I won't. The question is how far your council is willing to go. Or I can tell you that everything we did and happened to us is recorded and transmitted to the UNNHQ. And from destroying those 3 cruisers, I can tell you there is not much that's going to stop us. The interrogator did not like where this was going. He'd seen many before who tried to bluff and threaten themselves out of bad situations. But just a few things still irked him. It was true. Those 3 battle cruisers had not been a match at all given their ship was perfect shape when they surrendered after the Council intervention fleet had arrived. You play your games and I have run out of patience. You will remember this chance I gave you to simply tell me the things I wanted and admit your crimes freely. Maybe. But as I see it, there'll come a moment someone knocks on this door, asks you out and tells you that I am free to go. If that does not happen, someone else will knock on this door with just a breaching charge and an MAR at the ready. Take your pick. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.